lot lately. Not out loud. Not usually. But in my mind, I hear myself saying, because it's too fucking expensive, that's why. You don't fucking talk to me like that. Go get it the fuck yourself. My children are all boys, so I imagine they'll be whispering inaudible fucks to me. I started listening for it. I walked past my oldest, James, and realized that all that rides out of his breath is the smell of Doritos. He's just too lost to focus his anger. And I don't expect it from my middle son, Jeremy, who's just too happy. Why do families do that? Name their children with the same letter? As I get older, it trips up my brain, and when trying to reprimand, I struggle to pronounce the right one, so it just comes out as Jason! He is the one. He matches my anger, breath for breath. Unspoken words filling the air, clouding this space between us. He's only 7. New York Times columnist Joyce Maynard once stated, "It is not only children who grow. Parents grow too. As much as we are watching our children to see what they are doing with their lives, they are watching us to see what we are doing with ours." Author Anne Robinson illustrates that parent-child communication is not linear, but instead a shared network of experiences, arguing that growth is an activity for the entire family. Obedience School by Anne Bronston. The children's father and I are divorcing. Have divorced. And the many elements of change have settled. Not settled, but are semi-arranged. And I find myself thinking more and more of getting a dog. I had a dog for a few days when I was younger. It was this stray that walked up to me with all the implied mystical destiny of an old Hollywood movie. Well, I fed it snacks from the dinner table and snuck it into my bed late at night. I even taught it to do tricks. A trick. It sat when I said, sit. Well, one day, I came home from school and my father told me the dog's real family came and got him. My dog did not betray me. My family did. Somehow, that made much more sense to me even then. I know my kids blame me for the divorce. Especially Jason. My ex-husband never apologized for anything, whereas I was always saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I forgot to wash your black jeans. I'm sorry, I thought you wanted tuna. Of course, to the kids, I must have been the one to mess up the marriage. Give me a fucking break. You know, how is it that we wake up each morning hoping to move forward to some sense of accomplishment, but instead we step into the still indented footprints of all the other mornings? Tomorrow, find the map, or some event will occur that will change the course of my life. And then the children's father calls. He has an emergency and won't be able to take the kids. Well, I want him to say, is that okay with you? I want him to say, how have you been? I want to hear his voice just a few seconds longer. I tell the boys. James, the sad one, just shrugs his shoulders and nods. Jeremy, the happy one, asks if he can play at a friend's house, and Jason, the angry one, slams the door to his room. I'm trying to think of something we can do that afternoon. I decide we need to get a dog. But even as exciting an event as going to the animal shelter to pick a puppy doesn't rally us enough to leave the house until late in the afternoon. We arrive, after driving past it 3 times, at 10 minutes to 4. After arguing about the definition of closing time, the woman at the front desk goes to seek a higher authority, or maybe just a place to hide for 10 minutes. James, my loyal hound, sits on a padded middle chair, his head hanging, his arms folded. Jeremy, my excited spaniel, contents himself with all dog fancy magazines, and Jason, my annoying terrier with obvious control, is kicking things. The legs of the table, the chair his brother sits on, and with full intention to miss, he gets dangerously close to my shins. You lied. You said we were going to get a dog today. But you didn't even know how to get here. You always mess things up for us. Jason kicks the table again, this time knocking over a half-filled can of soda that someone had left there. Damn it! You made us late! Not me. You had to watch TV after I asked you 100 times to get ready. You couldn't find your shoes because you never put them away. You just do everything the way you want to. It doesn't matter what anyone else wants, you fucking brat! I watched as Jason's eyes fill with hate. There is no sadness in his expression. And he runs out the door, strands of his hair waving goodbye to me. I look for some way to clean up the mess, finally throwing an old dog fancy magazine over the puddle and run after him. My other 2 boys look at me before I do so. They know I love them. I have often promised my children that I will always love them, no matter what. But in truth, I haven't always loved Jason. Sometimes, in the dark hours after midnight, I bruise my heart, piling stone upon stone of remorse. Often, it is some incident with Jason that's his hardest against my heart. Now, I want to make up for those secret nights. He is halfway down the block by the time I reach him. I'm about to yell at him, "Don't you ever!" But as I turn his body to face mine, I don't recognize him. His face is twisted in sadness and rage. He looks like a little old man. I put my arm around his shoulder, but he just sinks from my fingertips, lying on the sidewalk. Little sobs flow from his body. "Come on, Jason, get up." I go down to him and cradle him in my arms. We rock, a simple motion of forgotten comfort. His sobs gradually slow, and he moans a continual, "I can't, I can't." I know, my sweet baby. I don't know what to tell him. What part of this universe can he control? Not the family he was born to, not the thoughts that scare him at night. Not the strange moments of sheer fate that rush at anyone. But I tell him, you know a secret it takes most people a long time to figure out. You are very brave to know the secret, not to be afraid of things you can't control. And you will learn what thoughts and feelings to ignore. You will learn how to do the things that make you truly happy.